Hello everyone, this is Sensei Ryan from Code Ninjas Cherry Hill, and today we will be creating an obstacle dodger game in Scratch. To do this, we're going to have a main character that you can control with the arrow keys, dodging obstacles that are falling from the sky. Let's start by creating a main character to move around. Do this by going to the bottom right of the screen and selecting the Choose a Sprite option by hovering over the Choose a Sprite icon and clicking on the magnifying glass. Choose any sprite that you want to control. I'm going to pick the crab, but pick anything that you'd like. Next, we're going to actually need an obstacle to be falling from the sky. Go back to the Choose a Sprite menu, and pick anything you want to fall from the sky. I'm going to select rocks by typing in the search icon at the top and clicking rocks. Finally, we're going to need a backdrop to fill this boring white one that we have right now. To do that, go to the bottom right of the screen, hover over Choose a Backdrop, and click on the magnifying glass. I'm going to pick beach because I have a crab, but pick anything that you'd like. I'm going to move the crab to the bottom of the screen by clicking and dragging. That way, it can dodge everything falling from the sky. I'm also going to move the rock to the top in the same way. Cool, we've got everything where we want it. Now it's time to start coding. We want our crab to be able to move left and right with our arrow keys. To add code for the crab, click on the crab sprite icon. We want this code to start when the flag is clicked. So go into the Events tab on the left and drag out a When Flag Clicked button. This will start all code below it when this green flag is clicked. It's kind of like the play button for your game. Now, as soon as this flag is clicked, we're going to need a forever loop from Control. This is because it's going to need to run the code inside the forever loop constantly as we play our game, not just once. Now, inside the forever loop, we need to check if the arrow keys are being pressed so that we can move the crab. Notice how I said if the arrow keys are pressed. That's why we're going to need an if loop, as you can see in Control right here. Drag two of them out, because we're going to be testing the right and left arrow keys, which are going to need separate if statements. In these little diamonds in the if statements, it checks if that thing is true, and if it is, it will run the code inside of the if. We don't have anything in the diamond right now, but think about it. If we want the crab to move right, we have to be pressing the arrow keys. So, if the arrow keys are pressed, then we need to move the crab. To check if the arrow keys are pressed, we need to go into the Sensing tab on the left. Select the key space press diamond and bring it inside of both if statements. We don't actually care about if the space key is pressed. We want to test if the arrow keys are being pressed. So select the drop-down arrow on the right side of the input, and select the right arrow key and the left arrow key. Now, if the right or left arrow key is pressed, whatever code is inside of here will run. We want the crab to move when these keys are pressed, and to do that, you have to go to the Motion tab in the top left of the screen. Scroll down until you find the Change X by 10 block. Place one of these in each of the if statements. Remember, X position denotes horizontal position, side to side. Y indicates up and down. If the right arrow key is pressed, we want the crab to go to the right by 10. If the left arrow is pressed, we want the crab to go to the left by 10. This is the opposite direction of the right, so we have to make this number 10 negative by adding a minus sign in the front. Now, if you run your game, you should notice that you're able to move the crab left and right by pressing the arrow keys. This is all well and good, but we actually need an obstacle to dodge. To do that, we need to code the rock to fall from the sky. Click on the rock sprite, and grab another When Flag Clicked block from Events. Just like the crab, we're going to need a forever loop. That way, the code for the rock can run as long as the game is going on. Inside here, we're going to add a Create a Clone block. The way we're going to make this game is have this rock create clones of itself, basically copies of the main sprite. They're going to fall and try to hit the crab. The way you can make a clone is by going into Control and scrolling all the way down until you find the Create Clone of Myself block. Now don't run this just yet. As it is right now, this would create hundreds of clones in a few short seconds. That's because we haven't instructed any delay between creating the clones. So this would create so many clones and would really slow down your computer. It also wouldn't be possible to play the game because so many rocks would be falling from the sky. We fix this by adding a wait delay. You can find this at the top of Control, where it says wait 1 second. Insert it inside the forever loop, and I'm going to change this to a random number. That way it's not predictable when the next rock will fall. To do this, go into Operators, the green circle on the left, and find the Pick Random 1 to 10 block. Insert that inside the little input in the wait seconds. The smallest amount of time we should probably give the crab to move is about 2 seconds, and I'd say 6 is as long as we want to wait between that. You can change these numbers if you want, but I like these. Now, when the clone actually happens, we need code for the clone to follow. The way we can get that is by going into Control, scrolling down and finding the When I Start as a Clone block. Notice how this is similar in shape to the When Flag Click block. This indicates its similar function. It will run all code below it when this event happens. In this case, though, the event isn't the flag is clicked. The event is that the clone is created. So when the clone is created, it will run all the code that we attach here. Let's attach some code here for the clone to run. We want the clone to go to the top of the screen. Right now, the rock is at Y160, as you can see here. Remember, Y tells you the up and down position. We want the clone to also go to Y160. So go to Motion and find the Go to XY block. Drag it out underneath the When I Start as a Clone and make sure the Y is set to 160. But the X, the horizontal position, we want that to be random. That way the crab has to move around to dodge the rocks. To select another random number, go back into Operators and find another Pick Random 1 to 10 block. Make sure this goes in the X input, not the Y. Now, for the smallest possible number for the X, the left side of the screen here is at X minus 240. So, the first number we should put in our Pick Random block is minus 240. Likewise, the right side of the screen is at X 240, positive 240. Therefore, the number we should put in the other side of our Pick Random is positive 240. Just like that. If you click the green flag, you should notice that the clones are created every 2 to 6 seconds in a random spot at the top of the screen. Problem is, they don't fall yet. To fix this, we need another we actually need a repeat until loop for the When I Start as a Clone. We don't want the clone to fall forever because when it hits the bottom of the screen or touches the crab, it needs to get rid of itself. The game is either done if it touches the crab, or the rock should disappear if it hits the ground. The way we can do this is tell the rock to fall until one of those two things happens. To do this, go into Control and find the Repeat Until loop. This will repeat the code inside until the thing inside that diamond is true. We're going to need to know if it touches the ground or if it touches the crab. Because we're testing two things, and if either of them happen, we're going to need an OR statement. You can find that inside the green operators section. The first thing we want to check is if it's touching the crab. To detect that, go into the blue sensing tab on the left and find the touching mouse pointer block. Change the mouse pointer by clicking the little drop down arrow and selecting crab. Next, we want to know if the rock's at the bottom of the screen. That really means if its Y position is less than a certain number. Remember, Y means up and down. When it's really low to the screen, you can see its Y is around minus 133. So we will detect if its Y is less than that number. To do that, go into the green operators and select the less than block. It should look like a left pointing arrow. In the first slot, go into Motion and find the Y position input. This will tell you how high up or down the rock is. We want to check if it's less than minus 133. So click on whatever number is here and change it to minus 133. Just like that. Now, we don't actually have it doing anything until this happens. We want it to be falling. To do that, we can change its Y coordinate, how high up and down it is, by some number. If this number is positive, the rock will go up, but we want it to fall. So maybe change this to minus 10. Now if you run the game, you'll notice that the rocks actually fall down. Except there's one minor problem. They don't actually get rid of themselves when they reach the ground. And we can do this by causing them to delete themselves if they've touched the ground or the crab. To do this, go into the Control section on the left, scroll down and find the Delete This Clone block. Click the flag, and you'll notice that as soon as the rocks touch the ground, they're deleted. The only problem is that this main rock sprite doesn't delete itself because it's not a clone and this code never runs. To do this, we want this main sprite to hide but all of its clones to show. You can do this by going into the Looks tab on the left, and scrolling down and selecting a hide block, placing it under the flag. Then grab a show block and place it under the one I start as a clone. That way the main sprite will hide, but all of the clones will show. One last thing. Notice that our game actually doesn't stop if the crab is hit by the rock. That's kind of a problem because there's no real point to the game if you can't lose it. We want to be able to end the game, so the way you can do that is test if the rock is touching the crab to end all of the code. The way you can do that is by getting another if statement from control. Put this above the delete this clone block. Make sure the delete this clone does not go inside the if but below it. We want to test if the rock is touching the crab. So go back into sensing and find a touching mouse pointer block, being sure to change it to crab. If you're touching the crab, we want all code to be stopped. And you can actually stop all code running in a Scratch project by going into control, scrolling down, and finding the stop all block. Now we should find that if the rock somehow touches the crab, it will stop all of the code running in the project. Now, even though I'm pressing the arrow keys, I can't seem to move the crab. And there you have it. That's a completed Obstacle Dodger game in Scratch. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and as always, have fun.